Hi guys, it's Raven, and today we are going to be talking about werewolves and Therians, their differences and similarities. Dun dun dun! So exciting. I got my little red notebook here, and I'm going to read to you the definitions that I got off of Wikipedia, because everyone knows Wikipedia is so right. I'm kidding, I got it from Google. Okay. The definition of a werewolf is a person who changes for periods of time into a wolf, typically when the full moon is present, or when it's a full moon and stuff. You know what I meant. So that's the definition of a werewolf, and the definition of a Therian is the ability of humans to metamorphose into animals through shape-shifting, for example, shifts, mental, physical, phantom, all that stuff. And just based on their definitions, they sound very, very similar. And I guess I can understand where people get the misconceptions of them being the same thing, because before I discovered I was a Therian, I did identify and call myself a werewolf. But it was more of the teen werewolf. They're really not all that similar once you get written down to like the mythology and the actual spirituality and existence of werewolves and Therians. So yeah, let's go on to their similarities. They both go through some sort of shift, and by shift it can mean anything from a phantom shift to a full-on physical transformation like with werewolves. So that's one sort of similarity that Therians and werewolves do share, because both of them go through certain shifts. A strong correspondence to animals is the second one I wrote down, and what I mean by that is there's always a connection, whether it be possession kind of relationship between the werewolf and the human who is possessed by the curse of the werewolf, or the spirituality between the Therian and that Therian's animal, or the one that Therian transforms into. So there's always that kind of human to animal spiritual connection. Yeah. And then the third one I wrote down was both are considered myths. And I say this very lightly because I speak from only what I know. I don't know everything, so I'm very open to other people's opinions, but I'm stating what I personally know. And from what I know, Therians are real. Many people don't necessarily believe that Therians are real, so that, like, in the spiritual sense, the Therians do believe that they are, and so they think it's more of like a fashion sense or whatever. And with werewolves, no one really believes that they can truly transform physically into a werewolf. They think it's like just them playing around or something. So that's one thing that Therians and werewolves both have in common, is that they both are considered myths. And I tell you from the bottom of my heart that Therians are real. But for werewolves, I don't want to say that they are or not, because I honestly just don't know. So anyway, let's move on. That was the princes. Okay, so let's move on to differences, and I have quite a few written down. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, please ignore my terrible handwriting. But yeah, so I have a lot more differences than similarities. The first difference that I wrote down was that the werewolves have physical transformations, while most of the time Therians have phantom or mental but I have phantom and mental shifted before myself, so I know that those two are kind of like, I know that those two werewolves always have that physical change from a human into a were-type creature. So Therians don't always have that. And yeah. And then underneath that I said mental and phantom shifts for Therians, because werewolves don't have a spiritual or mental shift when they go from being human to being an animal. They just go physically to being an animal and not being able to control what's around them. So yeah, that's the second one. And then the third one I wrote down, so no spirituality for werewolves, because werewolf isn't a spiritual thing. It's just not. Therianism is a very spiritual thing. You go deep within yourself to find your animal, and then you communicate with that animal and shift into that animal, and it's very personalized, and it's very spiritual, and it's unique to each person. While being a werewolf, you just turn into a wolf every full moon. That's not very spiritually inclined at all. So yeah, and then the final one is that werewolves are bitten in some legends that I've read. Generally, if you're bitten by a werewolf, you turn into a werewolf. And Therians, if I bite you, you're not gonna turn into a Therian. That's just not how it works. So that's another kind of big difference, and no joke, I've gotten questions like, if I bite you, will you turn in, or like, I've gotten questions where people have asked me to bite them so that they could turn into Therians, and I'm like, that's not how it works. You are a very strange child. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry it was so late. I know I said I'd post it yesterday, but I got really busy, and yeah. So I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a comment down below for a topic for my next video. And until then, like this video and subscribe to my channel for future videos. Blessed be and have a great day. Bye.